weren't born to be broke. You weren't created to struggle, to barely get by, or to live a life of just enough. You were designed with greatness on the inside of you, and until you tap into that, every day will feel like a grind. I'm here to tell you there is a path to your first $1 million. It's not a fantasy. It's not for the chosen few. It's for those who are ready to think differently, believe boldly, and execute relentlessly. Most people are stuck on the slow path to wealth because they've been conditioned to think that hard work alone will get them there. They've been told that if they just keep grinding, clocking in more hours, and doing more tasks, eventually success will come. But here's the truth: the hustle without leverage will keep you in the loop of exhaustion, not elevation. The fastest path to your first million is not by working harder, it's by working smarter through leverage. Leverage is what turns effort into exponential impact. Labor is linear. You do a task, you get paid. You stop doing the task, the money stops flowing. But when you use leverage, you set up systems, processes, assets, and people that work even when you don't. Leverage is how you buy back your time while building wealth that compounds. Think about this: if you mow lawns for $30 an hour, your income is capped by how many lawns you can mow. You're limited by energy, daylight, and demand. But if you hire a team to mow lawns and you train them in your system, now you're not just making money from your own labor, you're multiplying your results through others. That's leverage. And it's not just about people. Technology is one of the greatest tools of leverage in this era. A sales funnel doesn't sleep. An online course doesn't take lunch breaks. An automated email sequence keeps selling even while you're on vacation. This is the beauty of leverage. It expands your reach without expanding your effort. You set it up once and let it work for you again and again. Another form of leverage is intellectual property. If you write a book, create a course, or develop a framework that solves a real problem, that asset can generate income long after the work is done. You don't need to teach the lesson 1,000 times. You teach it once, record it, and let the recording deliver the value. Now you're earning off wisdom, not just energy. Then there's financial leverage. When used wisely, capital can accelerate growth. Investing in systems, talent, or advertising can multiply your visibility and scalability. Money, when aligned with strategy, becomes a tool for rapid movement, not just survival. Poor people spend money to stay comfortable. Wealthy people invest money to gain control. You must also learn to leverage partnerships. You don't have to know it all or do it all. Collaborate with those who complement your skills. Build alliances where your strengths fill their gaps and vice versa. This way, you collapse time frames and accelerate outcomes. Speed matters, and leverage creates speed. One of the most powerful, underrated forms of leverage is decision-making. When you become a person who decides quickly and takes decisive action, you move ahead of 90% of people who are still hesitating. The longer you wait to act, the more opportunities you miss. Momentum is a form of leverage. The faster you move, the more doors open. So why do most people stay stuck in labor mode? Because leverage requires letting go of control. It means trusting systems, trusting others, and sometimes investing upfront without an immediate return. But that's where the breakthrough lives. Labor will always feel safer, but it will never take you to 7 figures. The path to wealth is paved with leverage. The $1 million mark doesn't belong to the busiest person. It belongs to the person who builds systems, multiplies value, and stops relying solely on their own 2 hands. When you shift from labor to leverage, you stop living in limitation and start building in multiplication. If you want to make your first $1 million, stop trying to help everyone and start solving a high-value problem for someone. Money moves in the direction of clarity and urgency. The clearer you are on who you serve and the bigger the problem you solve, the faster your path to wealth becomes. The mistake most people make is trying to be everything to everyone, and that leads to being invisible to the people who actually need you most. The marketplace rewards specialists, not generalists. When you solve a high-value problem for a specific person, you become indispensable. People don't pay top dollar for vague solutions. They invest in results that matter to them. You have to know your audience so well that you can finish their sentences. You have to understand their pain so deeply that they feel like you've been living inside their head. That kind of connection commands premium value. Let's say someone has chronic back pain. They don't want general advice about health. They don't want to hear about 101 stretches for a better lifestyle. They want the one solution that gets them out of pain fast. That's what they'll pay for. If you're the person who understands their specific type of pain and you've developed a method that consistently relieves it, you've got leverage. You're not just a fitness coach, you're the go-to expert for pain-free living. That's the power of solving a specific high-value problem. So how do you identify a high-value problem? Look for where people are already spending money trying to find a solution. Pay attention to complaints, frustrations, or desires that show up repeatedly in a specific group. It might be entrepreneurs who can't scale, parents struggling with rebellious teens, or real estate agents trying to generate quality leads. Wherever there's persistent pain, there's potential profit. Don't just chase what you're passionate about. Chase what's painful for someone else and position yourself as the cure. If your passion aligns with their pain, you're in a gold mine. But even if it doesn't, remember this: businesses that thrive are built around service, not self. When you make it about solving a meaningful problem, the money follows. It's also critical to understand that not all problems are created equal. Some problems are nice to solve, others are necessary to solve. People will pay more to fix something that is stopping their progress, stealing their peace, or threatening their future. The more critical the problem, the more valuable the solution. That's how you raise your price without guilt, because you're not just selling a product, you're delivering relief. And when you know who your specific person is, you stop wasting time trying to convince the wrong people. You don't need everyone to buy, you need the right people to say yes. That's why specificity scales. When you speak directly to the heart of someone's problem, they don't need a long sales pitch. They already trust that you understand them better than anyone else. Once you've identified your person and their pain, build your business around serving that need with excellence. Your offer should not just provide information, it should create transformation. That's what makes it high value. People will remember how you made them feel. If you relieve a burden, remove an obstacle, or help them reach a goal, you become unforgettable and irreplaceable. The million-dollar path becomes clearer when you stop selling generic solutions to a distracted market and start offering high-impact solutions to a desperate person. Your first million is not hidden in trying harder, it's hidden in solving better. Solve the right problem for the right person, and the money will find you. If you want to accelerate your journey to your first $1 million, you must understand a fundamental shift in how money is made in today's economy. People don't pay for information, they pay for transformation. Information is everywhere. It's cheap, accessible, and often overwhelming. But transformation, that's rare, valuable, and life-changing. And the moment you position your offer as a vehicle for transformation, you step into the realm of high-value income. Think about it, most people aren't struggling because they don't know what to do. They're stuck because they don't know how to apply it, how to follow through, or how to move past the mental and emotional roadblocks standing in their way. That's where transformation comes in. Information tells people what's possible. Transformation walks them across the bridge and delivers the result. Anyone can Google how to start a business, lose weight, or build a brand. There are free videos, articles, and step-by-step guides all over the internet. But people still pay thousands of dollars to coaches, consultants, and experts. Why? Because they don't want more content. They want clarity. They want confidence. They want results. When you build your offer around delivering outcomes instead of dumping data, you position yourself at the top of the value chain. Transformation is about moving someone from where they are to where they desire to be. That's the gap your offer must close. You need to be intimately familiar with the before and after of your ideal client's journey. What are they struggling with now? What does life look like when that problem is solved? Your offer is not the modules or sessions or materials, it's the bridge between pain and possibility. Let's say you're a relationship coach. If you sell a 6-week course with 10 video lessons and 3 PDFs, that's information. But if you promise that by the end of 6 weeks your client will have healed communication in their marriage and reignited connection, that's transformation. The content is the vehicle, but the outcome is the value. The moment you start selling the after, people will pay attention and they'll pay more. People are not paying you for time, they're paying you for speed and certainty. The faster you can get them to their desired result, the more they'll value your process. That's why selling transformation also means simplifying your delivery. Don't just overload your offer with features to justify a higher price. Strip away the fluff and get laser focused on what actually moves the needle. When you promise a powerful transformation and you deliver it, you never have to compete on price. Transformation also creates loyalty. When someone experiences a shift because of what you helped them achieve, they become your advocate. They tell others. They come back for more. Your brand becomes synonymous with change, and that creates long-term income and impact. Selling information might get you selling transformation builds a movement. To make this shift, stop asking, what can I teach? And start asking, what change can I create? Then design your offer around that answer. Structure your message to highlight the journey, the obstacles you help remove, and the outcome they can expect. Speak to the emotions, not just the logic. People buy with the heart, then justify with the mind. At the end of the day, information is a commodity. Transformation is a calling. And when you show up in the marketplace not as a dispenser of facts, but as a guide for breakthrough, your value increases, and so does your income. If there's one trait that separates those who watch success from those who create it, it's boldness. Boldness is not about being loud or flashy. It's not about taking random risks. Boldness is the willingness to move with conviction, even when the outcome is uncertain. It's the decision to bet on yourself when fear is telling you to play it safe. Boldness is the spark that accelerates every breakthrough, because nothing moves until you move. You will never reach your first million by waiting for the perfect conditions. Boldness is what allows you to take the leap before the landing is clear. It's what pushes you to send the pitch, raise the price, launch the offer, or walk away from comfort. Most people delay destiny because they're addicted to safety. But safety doesn't produce wealth. Boldness does. The reason boldness works so powerfully is because it collapses time. What takes some people years of hesitating, the bold do in weeks, while others are still researching, second-guessing, and talking themselves out of action. The bold are testing, failing, learning, and adjusting. The bold don't need certainty to act. They understand that clarity comes through movement. They're not waiting for validation. They are too focused on vision. Boldness also communicates value. When you speak with authority, people assume you know what you're talking about. When you price with confidence, people believe the offer is worth it. When you show up with presence, people take note. The market mirrors your mindset. If you shrink, it will overlook you. If you stand firm, it will follow your lead. The truth is, fear will always have a reason for you to stay small. It will always whisper, what if it doesn't work? But boldness responds, what if it does? Fear imagines worst-case scenarios, while boldness sees possibilities. Boldness isn't the absence of fear, it's the refusal to let fear make the final decision. Every next level of your life will demand a greater level of courage, and until you act boldly, you stay stuck in cycles of preparation without progress. You don't need more time, more degrees, or more credentials. You need more courage. Boldness turns ordinary people into industry leaders because they're willing to do what others avoid. They ask for the sale when others hesitate. They take ownership when others blame circumstances. They enter rooms that feel intimidating and speak up when their voice shakes. They move before they feel ready, and that's why they grow faster than everyone else. Every breakthrough you desire is waiting on the other side of a bold move. The email you're scared to send, the conversation you're avoiding, the offer you're nervous to launch, the price you're afraid to charge, the dream you keep putting on hold. Breakthrough doesn't come to the comfortable, it comes to the courageous. And boldness is the decision to act like you belong before the world gives you permission. When you look at every person who made significant progress in a short time, you'll see a common thread. They made bold decisions in uncertain moments. They didn't wait for applause. They didn't wait for everything to make sense. They moved forward with vision, even when they were and in doing so they gained something most people never touch: momentum. Boldness multiplies momentum. It gets the attention of the right people. It disrupts patterns. It opens doors, but most importantly, it builds the kind of internal strength that no one can take away. Because once you learn how to move boldly, you realize that the only permission you ever needed was your own. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to gain traction in business is because they promote before they position. They rush to market their product, service, or message without first establishing a foundation of clarity, credibility, and alignment. And as a result, their promotion falls flat. Their offer gets ignored, and they wonder why the income doesn't match the effort. If you want your first million, you must position before you promote. Because the marketplace doesn't reward noise, it rewards clarity and authority. Positioning is the art of defining how your audience sees you before you ever ask for a sale. It's about owning your space in the minds of your ideal clients. It answers the critical questions: who are you? What do you do? Who do you help? And why should anyone care? Without strong positioning,
Even a great offer can be overlooked. But with the right positioning, even a simple message can convert at a high level. Too often people rush to build funnels, run ads, and create content without first making sure they're crystal clear on their identity and value. If you're unclear, your audience will be too. The brain rejects confusion. People don't buy what they don't understand. Positioning clears the fog. It focuses your message so that when you do promote, it lands with power and precision. Positioning isn't about shouting louder. It's about becoming undeniable. It's not about chasing trends. It's about owning a category. It means defining your niche so well that your audience sees you as the only logical choice. When you position correctly, you stop having to convince people. Your very presence becomes proof. The first step to positioning is identifying your specific audience. You can't serve everyone, and you shouldn't try. Who is the person your message, product, or service is perfect for? What problem are they facing? What outcome are they craving? Until you know exactly who you're talking to, your message will remain general and ineffective. Precision leads to persuasion. Next, you must define your unique value. What sets you apart from others in your space? What do you do differently or better? Why should someone choose you over a competitor? This isn't about claiming superiority. It's about highlighting distinctiveness. The more you can articulate your difference, the more memorable and magnetic your message becomes. Positioning also involves creating a strong brand identity. This goes beyond logos and colors. It's about the tone, values, language, and energy you bring into every interaction. Your brand is the emotional impression people carry with them. And when that impression is rooted in trust, authority, and clarity, promotion becomes almost effortless. Another key aspect of positioning is building proof. Testimonials, case studies, results, and real-life wins are the currency of credibility. Before you promote heavily, showcase the evidence. Let your results do the talking. People believe what they can see, and when they see transformation, they become buyers without resistance. Finally, positioning involves alignment. Is your offer aligned with your audience's deepest desires? Does your message match your method? Is your visual presentation congruent with the value you claim? When everything lines up, your words, your visuals, your tone, and your promise, your audience feels trust. And trust is the real driver of conversion. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So before you run to market, take time to position with power. Let your clarity lead the way. Promotion without positioning is noise. But when you position first, your promotion has direction, your message has authority, and your offer has impact. The result, you don't just make noise, you make money. Success doesn't wait on hesitation. It moves with the rhythm of faith and the urgency of speed. If you want to step into your first $1 million, you can't afford to be slow and doubtful. Faith and speed are not just traits, they are wealth accelerators. When combined, they create a powerful momentum that pushes you past the limits of logic, fear, and analysis. Faith gives you the vision to believe in what you cannot yet see. Speed gives you the courage to act before you feel fully ready. Together, they unlock doors that would stay closed for the cautious and the slow. Most people miss their moment not because they lacked opportunity, but because they delayed action. They prayed for clarity and then paused when it came. They waited for a perfect plan instead of acting on a clear one. But wealth flows to those who move, not recklessly, but decisively. The world doesn't reward the most educated or the most talented. It rewards the bold, the faithful, and the fast. Faith allows you to operate beyond your current circumstances. It is the substance of vision, the ability to believe in the outcome before it manifests. Without faith, you will talk yourself out of the very doors God is trying to open for you. Faith allows you to take the call, raise the price, apply for the contract, launch the business, speak the vision before everything is in place. It is the bridge between possibility and reality. But faith alone, without movement, becomes fantasy. Speed is the act of translating faith into action. It's not about rushing, it's about removing hesitation. It's about collapsing the time between instruction and execution. Every time you delay obedience to what you know you should do, you delay the harvest that comes with it. The wealthy don't wait for multiple confirmations. They see an opportunity, assess it, and move. While others are stuck in a loop of what-ifs, the successful are stacking wins by taking quick, intentional action. There's something powerful that happens when you move quickly in alignment with your vision. Doors open faster, relationships form sooner. Solutions appear more clearly. Why? Because speed creates momentum, and momentum multiplies favor. When you move in faith, life moves with you. The right people show up. The right resources become available. The clarity you thought you needed begins to unfold as you go. But none of that happens if you sit still and wait. Faith and speed also eliminate competition. Most people are too slow to act. They second-guess themselves out of results. They wait to feel ready before doing the thing that would make them ready. But speed gives you an edge. The person who moves first is often the person who wins. The person who acts on the idea, even imperfectly, will always outpace the person who's still waiting to perfect their plan. Of course, moving fast doesn't mean moving carelessly. It means acting with precision and purpose. It means trusting your instincts, trusting your preparation, and trusting the calling on your life. You don't need more time to think about it. You need more trust to move on it. Wealth is attracted to movement. Faith tells you what's possible. Speed makes it inevitable. You were never meant to crawl toward your calling. You were meant to move with power. The moment you combine deep belief with decisive action, you accelerate everything. You go from watching others succeed to creating success of your own. The distance between you and your first million isn't as far as you think. It's just waiting on a bold decision made in faith and executed with speed.